the lightning.
Welcome back to The Drama, the podcast where we unpack South African pop culture with all its mess, magic, and money moves. I'm Neil, your host, your chaos coordinator, and your plug for what's really going down in Mzansi. Now, let's get into the drama. For our very first segment, I'm bringing you 10 hots and 10 nots, the official temperature check of the culture. Think of it as the pop culture weather report, what's heating up and what's cooling off. So let's roll in at number 10. Hot. Samba. Yes, it's everywhere right now. Your cousin's playlist, your friend's Instagram story, even that one uncle who doesn't know how to use Spotify is humming it. Yep, it's officially a hot. Now, personally, I've been loving having Samba on my playlists. He's got this retro-centric vibe that feels both fresh and nostalgic. Like he's making music for TikTok in 2025, but somehow also for your first iPod in 2010. And if we start talking about his track, Undressed, I think it lands really well on the For You page algorithm. It's velvety, it's scroll stopping, it's the kind of sound that sneaks into a million reels. What I think is really cool about Samba, though, is the way he interacts with his fans. It feels authentic, like the early days of social media. He's giving that raw, almost diary entry kind of access that people are craving again. For me, the moment that really sealed it was listening to Did I Ever Cross Your Mind on loop. That track feels like layered in a way that just shows he's not just throwing out songs hoping one sticks. It feels intentional, like he's actually thinking about how people are experiencing music online. So yeah, Samba isn't just a vibe, he's a case study in how Gen Z and Gen Alpha artists are building music careers with the algorithm in mind, but still making it feel personal. That balance, that's why he's on the hot list this week. Rolling in at number 9, hot. European summer. Not the flights, not the heat wave warnings, not even the actual geography. I mean, the idea of it. Right now, European summer is less of a season and more of a personality trait. Your feed knows it too. Amalfi Coast boat days, Paris flea markets, Mykonos beach clubs, all condensed into a 15-second montage with a Tom Odell remix over it. And honestly, it works. There's something about the visual shorthand of lemon trees, linen shirts, and Aperol spritzers that make you want to romanticize even your walk to the corner store. The aesthetic has evolved from rich kid yacht diaries to a softer, more attainable vibe. Think balcony dinners and mismatched plates, gelato drips on white t-shirts, and journaling in a cafe like you're starring in your own indie film. The algorithm is eating it up because it's both aspirational and oddly universal. You don't need Santorini to buy into the dream. You just need golden light, a glass of something cold, and the confidence to pretend you're in a Luca Guadagnino movie. That's why European summer isn't just travel inspo anymore. It's the blueprint for how people are curating their everyday lives online. So yeah, it's a hot, not just because everyone's booking tickets, but because everyone's booking it in this very particular aesthetic. Coming in at number 8, hot. Cova Cafe in Sea Point. Now, this one's interesting because it's not just a matcha cafe. It's becoming a whole scene. You know, the type by 9 a.m., it's influencers on their laptops working. At 11 a.m., it's gym bros in sleeveless hoodies recovering over iced lattes. And by 3 p.m., you've got parents pushing their lattes and babies and only ordering nut milk alternatives. What makes Cova a hot isn't just the menu, though, yes, the pistachio, options in pastry form are a very strong PR agent. It's the fact that it's become part of the Cape Town lifestyle so quickly. You're not just getting matcha, you're curating your day. It's the kind of place that shows up in reels where the caption is POV, soft life in the city. It's aspirational but not intimidating, buzzy without being chaotic, and let's be honest, the cafe is pretty photogenic, even though your latte probably tastes pretty average. It doesn't, but hypothetically it does. You'd still post a shot of it against the marble tables with the ocean peeking in the background. So it's definitely rolling in at a hot. Rolling in at number 7, hot, the sun. I am not a fan of winter and flooded with gratitude as the warmth returns. That's it. Thank you, Mr. Sun. Rolling in at number 6, hot, Dettol and Savlon are not the same thing. I recently cut my finger and it hurt, obviously. I quickly doused it in Savlon and kept doing that throughout the week. Each time I was reminded that it's fast acting, soothing, and it just doesn't leave you questioning your life choices like Dettol can. So I'm personally vouching for Savlon. And if you're ever in that scenario, minor injury, kitchen disaster, or just a small everyday ouchie, you can make that decision for yourself. But as a South African, vouching from experience, Savlon deserves its hot badge this week. Quick, reliable, and undeniably part of our everyday life. Rolling in at number 5, hot, The Favours. Phineas O'Connell, the Grammy-winning producer and musician, has ventured into a new creative endeavor by forming a band called The Favours with singer-songwriter Ash. This collaboration marks a significant step for Phineas, known for his work with his sister Billie Eilish and his solo projects. The inception of The Favours was subtly teased in early 2025. An anonymous Instagram account named at We Should Make a Band began sharing vintage-style clips of Phineas and Ash creating music together. Further hints were dropped through their personal social media accounts, including a cryptic inclusion in the Austin City Limits Festival lineup. The duo confirmed their collaboration during live performances, with Ash joining Phineas on stage during his For Crying Out Loud tour in Los Angeles in March 2025. They performed an unreleased track titled Lake George, signaling the beginning of their partnership. The Favours' debut single, The Little Mess You Made, was released on June 6, 2025, followed by the announcement of their debut album, The Dream, slated for release on September 19, 2025. The album is set to be released under Darkroom Records, with Phineas serving as the producer. The music is expected to showcase a blend of nostalgic and fresh sounds drawing from both artists' strengths. This new project allows Phineas to explore a different musical direction while still maintaining his signature style. For fans of his work, The Favours offers an exciting new chapter in his musical journey, and yup, it's officially a hot. Rolling in at number 4, hot reality dating wars. Okay, so this is next level chaotic brilliance. I'm talking the full-on collision of Perfect Match, Love is Blind, and The Bachelor in Paradise all happening at the same time, all feeding off each other, all creating this cultural spectacle that feels like one singular social experiment. The spectacle here, it's literally the triage of love on screen. You've got multiple shows, multiple formats, multiple heartbreaks, all airing, streaming, and trending at one time. And watching them overlap is kind of mesmerizing. You see patterns, you notice repeated tropes, and you start questioning whether human romance is just a very dramatic algorithm. Each show plays its role. Love is Blind asks if emotional connection can survive the physical reveal. Perfect Match tests strategy and chemistry, and Bachelor in Paradise basically hands you a masterclass in impulsive decisions, all with a soundtrack and filter that makes everything look sun-drenched and cinematic. So yes, reality dating wars are hot right now because the cultural collision is happening live, and it deserves a prime spot on the list. Rolling in at number 3, hot, my cat. He's great. He's a great guy, and I got to see him this week. It's great. Rolling in at number 2, hot, that picture with Alex, Bella, Kendall, and Kylie, and Haley just enjoying summer. It was iconic. So iconic. So pretty. So girlhood. And I just absolutely loved it. Okay, rolling in at our top spot, The life of a showgirl. How could we not talk about it? I just had to because it's about to absolutely take over October. I'm so in love with Taylor and her symbolism. Unpacking the visuals we've received so far for this next upcoming album are already so exciting, creative, and whimsical. I know that these Easter eggs are about to be so engaging, and we're about to be all over it. Okay, the nuts. Coming in at number one, sparkling water. I'm still trying to get into it. Number two, winter. A re-awarded. Number three, sliding down on your iPhone and seeing that your battery is on 3%. I'm sorry, this is just undeniably a not. Number four, mosquitoes. With the summer comes mosquitoes, and that's got to be a not. Number five has to be the distinction between when no one knows if you're knitting or crocheting, and I'm an avid crocheter, and I think they require two different levels of technicality. It's just like, come on, refresh your hobby knowledge or dive into the knowledge, albeit if it's your first time in general. Number six, winter recovery. Bless my Capetonian soldiers. Number seven, zip up versus hoodies. Is this supposed to be a spontaneous decision? Number eight, petrol increases. And coming in at number nine, gatekeeping the brand of flip flops you buy. Lastly, number 10, not eating sushi every day. All right. Enough ratings, enough rankings. Let's switch gears. Not in the charts, not on the For You page, because sometimes the best way to understand South Africa is to treat it like a myth, a fable, a bedtime story with too much drama. We've reached that point in the show where reality bends, so let me take you into our next segment. Mzansi mythology. First up, a tragedy that echoes through the ages. The man who wore Crocs to groove. The tragedy of the man who wore Crocs to groove. Gather close, children of the timeline, and listen well, for this is no ordinary tale. This is the tragedy of a man whose downfall was not brought upon him by betrayal, famine, or even load shedding, but by a single pair of Crocs, worn to groove. It was a Sunday night, and the moon hung low over Josie, casting its light on velvet jackets, acrylic nails, and sneakers that had never touched a taxi rank. The air buzzed with the scent of cologne too strong and the electricity of people ready to forget their overdraft for just one more bottle. The groove was calling, and everyone came dressed as if the ancestors themselves might be watching from the VIP booth. Everyone, that is, except one man. His name has been lost to the archives of Twitter, for his shame became too great to bear. But the people remember him only as the Croc wearer. For while others laced up Nikes and dust off Air Forces, he slipped his feet into lime green Crocs. The holes in the rubber shoes he believed were ventilation, a practical choice for long nights of dancing. He even attached a few giblets charms, thinking this might make them stylish. Alas, the gods of groove do not look kindly on practicality. The moment he stepped into the venue, whispers spread like wildfire. "Do my eyes deceive me?" said one girl, clutching her clutch tighter. "Are those Crocs?" Another gasped. "Maybe he's the DJ. They dress different, ne?" But no, he was not the DJ. He was just another soul in the crowd, there to drink, dance, and perhaps find a partner to share an Uber with. But groove has its own sacred rules, carved not on stone tables but in Instagram stories and nightclub bathroom mirrors. Rule number 1: thou shalt respect the outfit. Groove is not merely a party, it's a temple, and every guest a worshipper. To enter in Crocs was not just a fashion crime, it was sacrilegious. The bouncers eyed him, uncertain. One even asked, "Are you sure I'm fit? You want to go inside like that?" But he nodded with the confidence of a man who believed comfort was king, and so they let him pass, for fate had already sealed his night. At first he tried to blend in. He danced, he shouted along to Uncle Waffles, he even bought a round of shots. But wherever he went, people's eyes drifted downwards. Conversations stopped mid-sentence. The music seemed to falter. It was as if the crocs glowed under the strobe lights, announcing his shame louder than the DJ's music. A woman, resplendent in heels sharper than a spear, turned to her friends and declared, "Never, not in my lineage, will I be seen with a man wearing Crocs at Groove." Another snapped a picture for her WhatsApp group. "Babes, look, this is what we're up against." Within minutes, the meme had traveled from the club to the nation's timeline. The Croc wearer, oblivious to the storm, raised his glass high, but when he leaned in to dance with the girl, she recoiled as though touched by lightning. "You can't two-step with me in those," she said coldly, before vanishing into the smoke machine haze. It was then that the weight of his footwear pressed heavy upon him. He looked down at the neon rubber, at the giblets charms that mocked him now, a small plastic soccer ball, cartoon avocados, symbols of foolish pride. His comfort had betrayed him. The rest of the night was a blur of rejection. Bartenders pretended not to see him. His friends drifted away, afraid the shame would spread. And when he finally stumbled out into the dawn, the taxi drivers refused to pick him up. "Not with those shoes, Brew. My car has a reputation." And so legend tells us he walked home barefoot, carrying the Crocs in his hands like stones of regret. The moral, dear listeners, is simple. Groove demands sacrifice. You may starve for a week to buy new sneakers. You may stand in heels that torture your toes. You may freeze in an outfit thinner than tissue paper. But these are the dues we pay to the gods of nightlife. Crocs may cradle the foot in comfort, but comfort has no place on the dance floor. And thus ends the tragedy of the man who wore Crocs to Groove. Let it be a warning to all who dress carelessly. Groove fades, but fashion is eternal. Alright, so we've given you legends and myths, but now it's time for your stories. Welcome to What's the Drama, where the floor is yours. Think of this as the group chat gone public. You send in the drama, we unpack it, and together we make sense of the chaos. So hit me up, send it in, and let's see what's actually going on. We don't judge, we just dive in. So whether it's friendship layers, roommate debacles, office politics, or that one cousin who can't keep quiet at the braai, we don't judge. We just dive in. We'll respond right here in real time because sometimes the tea deserves a second opinion. Now, you might have heard people say something that sounds like loss in South Africa and wondered exactly what that means. Well, in true Oxford style form, here's the definition. Loss. Adjective. Carefree, unrestrained or easygoing, relaxed or free, not held tightly or constrained. It basically means lose, but in behavior, energy, or style. So this segment is called Los the Drama. This is the space to let go, to shake off the chaos of the week and reset before we step back into it. Here we explore the little things that actually help. Maybe it's a meditation app that makes your brain shut up for 5 minutes. A new tea recipe that smells like calm in a cup. Or a fun micro challenge. Los the drama one way or another, because after all the hype, the gossip, the myths, and the madness, sometimes the best move is to just let go. Before we wrap up, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone tuning in, commenting, sending your stories, and just vibing with me here. I appreciate you, and I can't wait to do it all again next week.
That's the drama. What's that? That's the drama. What's that I hear? That's the drama.